Yeah, but are you ready to do it?
I'm ready to bang it out, son.
Alright, here we go.
Just when you think you've solved it, you're dead wrong.
They were handcuffed and later taken to jail.
Why are they putting this on us?
I think they should cut it out now, because this ain't gonna solve the problem.
I told you I don't want you living with roaches.
Warning, this show contains graphic depictions, faceless painting, and real-life accounts of the most nefarious of activities. Yea, though they do try to project themselves as upstanding, productive members of society, these two knuckleheads just ain't worth a damn. If any of you should find this show to be offensive, turn it off and stop being such a vagina.
What up, T-Bone Malone?
Hey, bro, what's happening, man?
Chilling like a villain. Hey, bro, ask me what I'm drinking.
What you drinking, sir?
I fucking told you already, bro. I'm drinking...
Oh, a white Caucasian. I forgot. I didn't forget. I thought you just wanted me to describe it again. Fuck.
Yeah, no, I was just using you for a big pun. And
oh, my God. You used me as a pawn for your pun.
Yep, a pawn for your pun. Slight disclaimer to all Reloaded 504ians out there and new listeners. I'm slightly tipsy. I don't know about you, Todd, but I'm feeling the effects of the concoction. I've enjoyed... Please do, sir, please do. We, on the Reloaded 504 podcast, we sit and drink and smoke until we're, like, super retarded. And in the meantime, skibble out some tidbits of knowledge and this and that and the third. Anyway, bro, I'm drinking a White Russian, but I put shots of Cafe Bustelo espresso in there. So I'm wide awake and fucking drunk at the same time. It's awesome.
So you're speedballing, but prohibition style.
Yeah, bro, I'm doing it. Super big, super big.
That's what's up, dog. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for the crowd support.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
I was going to put us... My bad. I was going to put us through a few test questions, if you don't mind. Are you ready?
Hey, man, I'm always ready.
All right, here we go.
When coming to a stop behind another vehicle, you should stop far enough behind the vehicle to...
All right, go ahead and take that one, Todd.
2-second rule.
2-second rule? What does that mean?
That means that you need to identify an inanimate object, and once it passes that vehicle, count 1 motherfucker, 2 motherfucker, and then if it hasn't passed you in that allotted 2 seconds, then you're a safe distance away.
All right, I'm going to go
and if it has, then you're too close.
I'm going to go with a totally different response. I'm going to say that you need to stop far enough behind the vehicle in front of you to land yourself within eyesight of the vehicle next to you so you could see if there's a sexy chick driving that vehicle next to you.
Ooh, okay. All right, different angle you took.
Yeah.
I'm all about different angles, bro.
Yeah. One of my alleged friends, allegedly Corey Cronenberger.
Yeah.
I was in my first vehicle that I had in high school. I'm driving down the street with him, and we see 2 chicks and an older dude, which is, I guess, their dad, driving down the street, driving down the highway, multi-lane highway. And they're in like a 56 Vet, something awesome, right? It's a convertible. Yeah. The top's down. Their hair is like flopping in the wind. And, we're like 2 young, horny kids. And we're like, oh, look at these broads over here, So we're mouthing back and forth with him. He's talking to him. We stop at a red light. We stop at the next red light. And he's like, hey, let me get them digits, like run the digits. So... they're all about it. So they start writing down the digits. Well, the light turns green. So we're all going. So they're like, all right, here's the digits. And they're waving it to us, on a little piece of paper. And so I get super close next to them so that they can actually hand the piece of paper over to my boy, allegedly
Right.
Corey Cronenberger. And so success, we got the digits. Well, we get to the next red light. Evidently, their dad, or whoever the fuck was driving, was not happy with the whole situation. He was like, y'all got too close to my fucking fancy car, and I'm about to make you feel the wrath. So he fucking puts his car in park.
He wasn't concerned about being too close to his daughter's honey pot leaking.
Yeah, see, so fucking
It was like flowing down her tender leg.
No kudos, Dad. Like, you should have been concerned with your daughter's cherry. So
that you were about to like ream her insides out.
Exactly, like that's the only reason digits are passed in the first place, right? So
like you were just about to like have her choke on the fucking base of your fucking cock.
Exactly, and he's worried about his Corvette. So the dude
This
gets
fucking
out,
selfish
bro.
motherfucker.
I know, bro. He puts it in park. He gets out. He walks up to the passenger side because they were right next to the passenger side of my vehicle. Proceeds to fucking lean in my window and grab allegedly Corey Cronenberger by the fucking head.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How do you?
Grabs
He
him,
must have had big hands.
grabs him by the head, and he's like, "Don't ever fucking get that close to my fucking Corvette ever a fucking again," like cursing and screaming. And we're like, look at this adult like losing his shit right now. And allegedly Corey Cronenberger, like, he couldn't talk because the dude had his whole head in his hands, but with his smushed face, he's like, "I'm not even driving." Yeah. And then the fucking light turns green, and I was fortunate enough to have electric windows in my first vehicle, so I start rolling up the window on his hands and floor
Damn,
it.
bro, you balling.
And so I roll up the windows on the dude's hands, and then I floor it. And then he proceeds to try to get untangled while I'm speeding off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was there like a like a comedic stumble and then he disengaged and then fell?
I didn't even look. I just was laughing to myself because all I had to do was press a button and press a pedal and embarrass the fuck out of him.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. That seems to actually be a reoccurring theme of your young adulthood, is that you used to enjoy engaging in high speed chases, especially when
keeps the blood pumping, you know?
Well, no, that was certainly one of your specialties, and you certainly you didn't seem to really give much concern to like, you know, whether or not people were like on the like
whatever, bro. You're trying to make me sound
or
fucking irresponsible or some shit. I was just a good dude having a good time, and I embarrassed the fuck out of him. He was the aggressor, so you could just put all that shit to rest.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Along the same vein, I'm going to subject ourselves to another DMV test question. Instructor, if you will, go ahead and read the next question. Thank you.
Mopeds cannot be operated on limited access highways where the minimum speed is more than blank miles per hour.
All right, what you got, Ty?
Am I in Thailand or the United States?
I guess anywhere. Your best judgment.
Thailand, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
All right, other countries, let's rule that out because that's
All right,
you're right. That's crazy.
45.
I can't picture a moped on the interstate. That would really get in the way, and you know, like he's taking his life in his own hands and stuff. So
we've never seen it, so that means it's got to be illegal.
Yeah, it's got to be illegal. So what do you say, like 45, 35, something like that? Whatever it is, like, stay the fuck out of my way. I don't want you around me on a moped.
45 is the minimum that you can go on the interstate, so it might be 35. I think I'm going to go with 35. I changed my answer.
All right, 35 miles an hour, that's what we're going with. I guess I'll second that. I'll second that because that sounds about right, and you are correct. I've never seen one on the interstate. I don't know what the minimum speed is on the interstate. What is it, you said? 45. 45?
Yeah, it's well documented, bro.
Well, fuck people who do that speed. I don't know. All right, next question. Instructor, please.
Next question. To avoid collisions, drivers can use which of the following tools?
We're going to cut off the multiple choice. We're just going to say what tools can you use to avoid collisions?
Brakes.
All right, I'm going to go with any kind of projectile. If you could throw it from your vehicle, it's going to freak somebody out. They'll probably swerve, and it'll definitely be away from you. So if you got anything in your vehicle you could throw, like a Gatorade bottle or something like that, like throw that. What else can you do to avoid a collision?
Where you throwing it?
You're throwing it at them. They'll swerve away from it, and undoubtedly that'll be away from you. So, crisis avoided, I think.
Oh, yeah. No. What was the quandary again?
So, all right. Next question, sir. Well, but make it the same question, but it's sort of the next question. Please.
Well, what the fuck? I just wanted you to retell me the question.
Repeat yourself. That's what I'm doing, man. Telling the instructor, like, it's next question, but it's the same question.
Next question.
Jesus Christ.
To avoid collisions, drivers can use which of the following tools?
And then he goes on to give a multiple choice, but we cutted that out because, I don't know. We don't want to hear all the bullshit. I would like to be free in my musings. So what do you say can you use to avoid collisions? Besides brakes, because you already said that.
I mean, I would grab... I have this thing that... It's like man, I don't know, dude. Flex Seal. I have a can of Flex Seal. That shit, spray it out the window. It's pretty much gonna grip to the pavement, and boom, bam, you're pretty good. And if another car runs upon you, it's like a ramp.
I would spray that on their windshield because they're not gonna be able to like get that off. They'll go run into something else. All right, bro. I'm gonna say we can use whatever is in our bevy. Like I said, a Gatorade bottle, any kind of projectile. I'm also a proponent of paintball guns. I'm trying to figure out, I'm building a 78 Chevy right now. I'm trying to figure out how to put a paintball gun underneath the hood. It seems simple, but you can't store paintballs in an engine bay because they're just going to explode. So I have to figure that part out. But I will have a paintball gun poking out through the grill, inconspicuously, I guess sort of like James Bond, but more like Dave in his 78 Chevy situation, bro. So that's what I'm saying. You use these tools to avoid a collision. You can steer away and all of that shit, but throw something at that person, he'll veer off. Trust me.
Okay.
Next question, please, Mr. Instructor Person, and then we'll move on.
At railroad crossings, the blank has the right of way.
All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to say I have the right of way, only contingent upon how close the train is. Because I've driven around the arms that fall down. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I've done a lot of that.
I've driven around it too successfully, I mean, it comes down way too early.
Well, dude, we have the advantage, the unfair advantage over the layperson here. We used to live right near a bunch of crucial ass train tracks.
Right.
That we had to cross like on damn near a regular just to exit our fucking crib.
This is true.
So we have more experience, I think, than the normal person might.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
We've probably done we've gone to extreme measures to thwart the interruption of fucking rail.
It's a long
transport.
one too, bro. It's a long one. Like, it's worth risking your life sometimes, because if you got to poop, you better not catch a train, bro, because you're fucked. You're fucked, buddy.
Yeah, and if you're like particularly sleepy, you better not catch a train because the cops are gonna get you sleeping.
Yeah. I've put it in park and fucking dozed for a minute. Sometimes them bitches,
1
where
minute
we
turns
lived, I should tell the fucking listeners, where we lived was close to the train yard. So it was not uncommon for the train to stop and then start backing up. And I mean, all of this shit is in like super slow motion. So you could be sitting there for fucking ever. So if you can get across that bitch, drive around those arms, get the fuck across it, bro. Because you'll regret it if you didn't. Especially if you got to go like do your duty. If nature's calling, you're fucked.
Have you ever so I've been like, out with partners or whatever it is, out with whoever, and it's time to drop you off, and it's like, bro, like, do I really have to fucking sit here and wait for this train? Like, you live like less than a block away.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's cool, bro. Just let me out. I'll hop this bitch. So you fucking hop the train.
Yep.
Like, as a civilian.
You're not lying.
Dope,
I've had
bro.
to do
It's
that
dope as
before,
fuck.
bro. Thank God I didn't lose my life because I know I was tanked every time. Sure.
Oh yeah,
Fuck.
100%. You're not doing that unless you're fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No shit, bro. Hey, bro. Speaking of driving, sorta, I guess. America made history last month. On May 30th, SpaceX launched 2 NASA astronauts and they made it to the space station. Did you follow that?
Yeah, man. I watched it live.
That's fucking crazy, bro. These guys were awaiting their arrival. It's the first time a private company was responsible for so much. Like the rocket was built by SpaceX. Mission control was manned by SpaceX guys, not NASA dudes. The NASA dudes were the only part of NASA that was involved in that whole situation. Let me ask you this though, bro. What happens if mission control is like, okay, guys, good mission, successful embarkation. It's time to return to Earth, and then one of them's like, nah, Earth is kind of fucked up right now. I think I'll just stay here. Can they like Netflix and chill in space? Can they just, mutiny on the bounty?
Yeah, that's a great question, bro. I'm sure they could, but they'd be sacrificing. Have you seen that Matt Damon movie where basically that's what happens to him? Like, everybody leaves, like, oops, forgot about Matt Damon. Now you're just stuck on fucking Mars, or now you're stuck on the space station.
He gets left behind?
Long story short, basically, yeah. I think it's called The Martian. It's a pretty good fucking movie. You should check it out. But,
what could they do? What could they do? Like, you're talking to me. I'm like a gazillion miles away at the space station. You're like, okay, it's time to come back, Dave. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like, half the nation's on fire. Like, this place ain't so great no more. So I'm going to stay up here. Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be like, yo,
I have your
my
ride,
options
bro.
are like how much ration do I have? Like how much oxygen do I like? What are my fucking consumables? You know what I'm saying? Like how much longer do I have up here?
Let's suppose that they're growing everything they need to eat through solar power out there, and now I have an unlimited supply of food and I have your G-Ride, which is probably worth like $100 million. And you tell me it's time to come back, bring my G-Ride back. And I'm like, nope, fuck you. I'm staying here. Find somebody else to fly your G-Ride back, bitch. What are you going to do? You can't do nothing. There's nothing you could do.
I'm sure they got fucking return to home button, bro. I got that shit on my drone. I hit one button. That fucking thing flies and it lands exactly where it took off from.
That's true. I wonder if they have that on the fucking space shuttles. Just in
Dude,
case.
you saw it? Dude, all right, bro. You didn't see the fucking, what do they call them? The boosters? The thing that deploys, like the original propeller of the thing, right? Like
yeah, they shed those
rocket.
things. They shed those.
They shed them, but they land back on a fucking boat, dog. They land on a vessel in the sea.
They don't land on a vessel. The vessel goes and retrieves them.
Land on a vessel, bro. They land on a fucking deck of a boat.
How is that possible? The boat, like, moves around and catches it?
GPS, bro. I don't know, but it does that shit. 100%.
So the dude becomes a rogue pirate dude, and he's like, I'm not coming back. You are fairly confident that they could still retrieve their G-Ride.
Bro, I'm not even lying. Elon Musk's rockets, they land. They don't land in the sea like the old shit used to do. Yeah. Like, remember how NASA shit used to just, like, fucking splat? Like, it was space trash, and it was just like, that was a wrap. His shit lands and is reusable.
That's so sorry. I don't understand how the government's not embarrassed at the fact that somebody else figured it out better than they did.
A private dude, one man.
Yeah. Same dude went and smoked weed with fucking Joe Rogan. Like, he's peace out William. All right, let me switch it up a minute. Do you think the laws of attraction change when people get old? Like, does any 75-year-old man find a 75-year-old woman attractive?
I will answer that question with yes, I do think that the laws of attraction change. I don't know whether or not a 75-year-old man finds a 75-year-old woman attractive. I would venture to say that only a 75-year-old man can find the nuances in a 75-year-old woman physically attracted.
Well, basically, you're saying it's slim pickings. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, I'm saying if you're 75, you're only fucking your peers, hopefully.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would hope so too, but I don't think that a 35-year-old would find a 75-year-old attractive, and I don't. But I do think that a 75-year-old would find a 35-year-old attractive. So therein lies the conundrum. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then a 75-year-old's got like, dude, the dynamics there, bro. I mean, we all know what they are. You can make that happen. You just have to have cash.
Yeah, that's terrible too. I don't like that even exists. We saw it with pill popping blonde Playboy bunny chick.
Anna Marie.
Yeah.
Anna Nicole Smith or whatever. Yeah, Anna Nicole Smith, I think. Was her.
No, Anna Nicole Smith is who OJ allegedly murdered.
Oh, yeah.
But you had it right, though. It was Anna Marie something. I don't know. We're tanked up. Fuck it. Moving on. Hey, bro.
Moving on.
You know...
I'm trying to send you this picture. I just took a...
Don't. The squeegee guys, bro? The homeless people that rush your car and try to clean a windshield and stuff?
Yep.
Let me ask you this. Would it be wrong to keep a water gun just for those guys? And then when they run up at your car, roll down your window and just like super soak them. You know what I'm saying? Like tit for tat, right? Like maybe some cheap cologne is in there so you're improving society or something like that. Like is that so bad? Is that a wrong idea? Because it was it was an invention, a brainchild I had.
I think the move. I think it's a great idea, bro. But I think you can't be too aggressive. You have to use like a little bit of a modesty. So I think the move is you're allowed to carry a fully loaded fucking water gun and fucking tap that bitch on the window so he sees you.
yeah, like imminent threat. Like, hey, bro,
right, like,
skip
I'm
this
gonna
windshield,
fucking
bro.
hit you with this shit. Like,
Yeah.
you about to get wet up, son, if you keep getting close to me.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair way of putting things. I would hope
Or like
that he
roll
still
it down
presses.
and be like, yo, son, you get any closer, I'm gonna fucking hit you. You fitting to get wet up, son? Like, it is what it is. Like, do you want to deal with it?
Nah, you
I ain't
should
giving you money.
simplify, bro. Just be like, go ahead, make my day.
yeah. Or exactly, bro. Like, you can go old school and like go gangster on them. Like,
Yeah.
you can go Tony Montana and like fucking super soak them, or like, I mean, you can use your discrepancy. I think that's a great idea, bro.
Fucking
I
right.
just think get creative with it.
Rest in peace, Clint Eastwood, bro. Go easy, son.
When did he die?
He's been dead.
All right, hey, Reloaded 504ers, we're going to pause for a quick station break and a word from our sponsor, and we will be right back. Hey, bro, I went on our sponsor's website to find the dopest, most expensive bong they had to offer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and you won't even believe what they've got, all right? Picture this, if you will. It's a mix and match bong kit by Blaze Glass. Now,
modular.
This company makes bongs with several pieces that are interchangeable and just absolutely gorgeous, bro. This one I found had a sealed glass middle section with a glass spiral tube going up through the middle of it. Yeah, it's pretty fancy, bro. This section is filled with a liquid that will not freeze, so you put it in a freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes and then attach it to your base, and your rips are ice baby.
Oh, yeah, man. So it don't freeze, but it stays super motherfucking cold.
Yeah, it's black and orange with glass swirls. Guess how much this thing is, bro?
Oh, no, man. It sounds fancy, bro. I'm a bet like a G.
Actually, it's only $700.
Bro, only $7.
Only $700. Now, to all the Reloaded 504ians out there, you don't have to get that gangster with it, but you could support this show and cop all your gear at reloaded504.com/smoke. That's reloaded504.com/smoke.
Man, cop that bong 789.
Grass City. Grass City.
Fucking, all right, bro. Let's see. Okay, so this is a bit of a heavy topic, all right? You're not gonna like this at all, bro. Okay, I'm in the car with my grandmother, and this lady whose name is Erlene, okay? Erlene used to come to clean my grandparents' house when I was a little kid, all right? Now, Erlene is black, okay? And I asked her, and I'm quoting my 5-year-old self, so nobody get offended here. Fuck, it's Reloaded 504. I asked her if she knows, I said, Miss Erlene, do you know any niggers? All right?
What the fuck?
I know.
You can't do that.
Well, I was 5 years old, okay? I didn't realize. All right.
You can't do
now,
that now.
As you can imagine, the car fell silent for a moment.
Quotes and the N-word.
Well,
quotes and the N-word.
Well, okay. Well, I just did it. I was quoting my 5-year-old self, all right? So I say that, and the car followed.
Imagine if Drew Brees said that. I was just...
Okay. You good, bro?
I'm cool, bro. I'm just looking out for the... I don't want, like, burning shit.
You know what, bro? It's fucking... It's not that it's innocent, but I was 5 years old. I mean, come on. So I say that, okay? And as you can imagine, the car falls silent for a moment. And Erlene says, why, yes, I do. Some of my best friends are niggers. That's what she said.
Oh, my God. Jesus fucking Christ. What is going on here?
I know.
Oh, my God. My ears are just bleeding.
I know.
Keep going. Keep going, sir. Keep going.
5-year-old self, you know? So, I mean, it's kind of laughable when you think about it, you know? Obviously, my grandparents were from a different era. My grandfather was born in 1937, right? So, I mean, I've seen the other side, and I'm sure there are many people like me of my same age that have seen the other side of things, the bigotry, you know? But I made the decision to take my own stance, and that's why I believe attempting to erase history in an effort to right wrongs, like they did with the Civil War statues down in New Orleans, was a bad approach. It nurtures ignorance. How can any child know the result of inaction or offensive actions if they can't learn from the mistakes of our predecessors? And that's why I bring this up. I mean, it was an obvious mistake on the part of my grandparents. They were racist. You know, old white people are racist people.
Well, you know, a lot of it is generational. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you only know what you're taught.
Hey, bro, that's just it. I mean, it was that generation. Obviously, racism was alive and well. You know, and we were born from that. I mean, that was our grandparents. We weren't born from that generation, but you know, 2 generations ahead, we bore witness to that sentiment. Those type of people, like just totally racist, bigoted people, and they were responsible for raising us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a fucked up situation, but
no, it could have been, you know, it could have been your parents, it could have been, you know, it could have been relatives, it could have been a teacher, it could have been neighbors, it could have been your best friend's parents. You know, I mean, there's no telling, but
sure,
certainly there's going to be certain, you know, you're going to run across racism.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a white person, you're going to run across other white people who you identify as racist when
I still do. It's usually backwoods motherfuckers, but I'm saying, like, at an early age, like, these people were responsible for teaching us values, and they were racist. And that's why I feel like some of that sentiment still exists today, because people don't know any better. They were raised that way. And I wasn't, like, big up on myself, but I was like, you know what? And other people can do this too. You take a stand, like you investigate and you take your own stance on the matter. You don't just repeat what you've been told like a fucking parrot. You know what I'm saying? You investigate.
Yeah, but nobody does that shit, bro. Nobody does.
It's a shame, bro. I wish more people did, bro.
Hang on, do it.
Reloaded 504 has a presence on a lot of social media accounts, and I started a dialogue with someone. His name is Dwight Lewis Sr. He's a follower of ours, a listener of Reloaded 504, and he contacted me through our Instagram account. if you describing himself, he is a chef, a husband, a father, a lover of God, motivational speaker, mentor. And I believe it after speaking with him at great length about this subject here and bringing up those topics. He writes in to Reloaded 504, he says, racism is one of those subjects that are hard to discuss, mainly because most people don't understand it. Racism equals power and influence. I've had numerous people tell me that if I didn't post pictures like that racism would die out. And he's speaking on a lot of the shit that you're seeing on social media today. It's, hatred based. He says, I was raised from the 60s and 70s, so I had a chance to see Jim Crow up close. Didn't have the technology in those days to get the message out to the masses like now, but racism flourished. Now we must face this, talk about it, and do something to get it behind us. It is a taught behavior based on lies and a supposed inferiority of the ones who are targeted. And 120%, bro. I think he knocked it out the ballpark. And I know what I began this discussion with sounded kind of ugly, but it's what I witnessed growing up from people that, was supposed to mold my future or mold me into a person,
Sure.
Luckily, it didn't turn out like that. Luckily, I could talk to people, like Dwight Lewis and, open up a dialogue and just not let history repeat itself, because obviously that's an ignorant path, I hate to call my grandparents ignorant. They were super wise, but in some ways, but I guess ignorant in others,
I tell you what, I hear you, man. I think that a lot of people share that sentiment, Dave. I really do, right? Like as white kids growing up in the 90s or the 80s, whatever it was in our case, we were a product of our parents. We were a product of the 70s and the 60s and the 70s.
Yep.
So those beliefs kind of held true. So, but you know what I was thinking? So, that's what it was. But what I was thinking, I was like, man, like all this shit that's happening right now, it's fucking nuts, bro. And it's like, so I've tried to understand it, and I've tried to have conversations, and they never end up positive. But what it is, I'm like, hey, yo, fellas, hold on a couple more years, bro. Like once these Gen X once the baby boomers die off, the racism dies. Like the progressive behavior of society is slowly evolving, and once the powers that be, the powers that run the country right now are the baby boomers. They're the last of the Mohicans, of the racists, and they hold on to the last of the old ways, I think.
They're the last generation that racism is touching, as far as from the white perspective, I guess. Like,
right,
it's the last generation to be tainted by racism.
Well, the last generation to embrace racism. To actually embrace it and believe in it, and to hold it to be a truth.
Yeah.
Like, dude, these fucking old politicians, they believe in their racism. Like they're nasty motherfuckers, bro.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether to say that it's ignorance, so you can't really blame them.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit, No.
I feel like there's going to be growing pains for everybody. Everybody's got to reevaluate themselves, honestly. Doesn't matter, black, white, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. Word to Q-tip. I feel like everybody's got to reevaluate the way that they see things. Because just like you and I, from a white perspective, is talking about doing away with racism, there's a black perspective, there's a black dialogue that should be started too, that talks about doing away with racism. Because just like our grandparents or my grandparents in that instance, in that story, were racist. And I got to see that perspective. There's a black man out there somewhere, my same age, that was raised not to trust white people for that very same reason. So we're
100%.
like you're saying, right? So like we're saying, like we're still tainted. The next generation a little less, and the next generation a little less, and finally it'll be gone.
We're the ones. Like, I feel, honestly, Dave, I feel like we are. I hear you, right? Like, so it's just as time progresses, we become more. We become less square. Things round off a bit.
I would hope so.
Things smooth out and it's simply because, like, I identified this at like an early age. When I was an early teen, I started to notice that the classes, when I say classes, I mean like the people, like my peers, but a year younger than me, the people that were a year less younger than I was. Yeah. Jesus Christ, I can't even fucking think of basic thoughts.
It's all good. We're getting loaded, bro. But the next graduating class.
They were progressively acting out more than my peers were, and then it exacerbated itself. Like they're lesser, the 2 years earlier than I was, and 3 years earlier, and 4. It would get worse and worse and worse. Like they would just be acting more and more crazy. Like, we would do wild shit as teenagers, but then they would just take it to another level. Yeah. And then the next year it would be, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then now we got like face tattoo. Like, dog, when we were kids, like you got like a tattoo, it was like, ooh, that's crazy. Now, if you ain't sleeved up, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like kind of crazy the way that it progresses. Things become more acceptable, more like, everyday, more commonplace. There were no tattoos in sports when we were kids.
Yeah, or I think on cops either, or military personnel, like all of that
cops
shit.
Or military,
yeah.
Fuck no, dude.
Yeah,
dude, like tattoos were like gangs and like gangs.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I would just hope. Check this out, bro.
Until tribal tats came out and shit.
I'll fucking take this opportunity. I know we're a stupid ass podcast, and we get together. Me and Ty get together and get drunk and high and fucking just shoot the shit and laugh at everything. But we're not afraid to address real issues, and I think right now is the most appropriate time to address an issue like this. And I don't know, man. I hope y'all feel us. Fuck you if you don't, bro. I've relayed that story to you through the eyes of a 5-year-old. I think I was 5. I was really, really young. But I'll never forget it. And let me tell you something. She remained friends with this lady, Arlene. Friends. Throughout the course of her life. One of the last correspondences that she had with anyone before she died was with this lady, Arlene.
Dude, it was probably like it was totally accepted in their fucking dialogue.
Here's the fucking crazy duality. They could be talking about black people and be like nigga this and that, but then turn around and that's my dear friend Arlene, and talk to Arlene, and she's talking to Arlene, and blah blah blah. I never understood it. I don't know.
That's just
we're talking about.
That's just using the term not knowing, right? Like,
but she cared for this person. Like they cared for these. There was this crazy, like fuck, what's his name? The Rat Pack. Oh, shit, man. Anyway,
Sammy Davis Jr.
Thank you. Sammy Davis Jr. Throughout time, even though white people felt like they were better than black people, they still found them entertaining. So they would still watch them. Like they would go to see their shows or their concerts and shit like that, And Sammy Davis Jr. teams up with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and a few other guys, and they form the Rat Pack, and they're in movies and they're in concerts and all this other shit. but it's a controversial time. And they go to perform at a theater, and they wouldn't let Sammy Davis Jr. come in through the front because a lot of times back in the 60s and previously, I suppose, black people had to enter through the service entrance, which was in the back. So the theater says Sammy Davis cannot come through the front. He is a black person. He needs to enter through the back. And all of the Rat Pack unites and says, we're not going on unless he walks through the front. And lo and behold, he walks through the front. And it's happened time and again. Miles Davis was outside of the theater he was about to perform in, smoking a cigarette. He's standing, there's a famous picture actually that goes along with the story. He's standing underneath the billboard that shows his name in lights that he's about to perform, and he gets harassed by cops because he's black, and I think he got smacked in the head and taken off to jail while he's standing outside of the theater that he's about to perform in headline. It was just him. Like, he's the fucking star. So, yeah. I mean, it's happened time and again, and I think it's been building up to this moment. I don't appreciate the way the media has been conducting themselves. I don't appreciate fascist groups that are trying to move amongst the protesters, the peaceful protesters, and turn it into a fucking horse and donkey show. It's disappointing, but I think that people are seeing through those things right now. And yeah, hopefully, Todd, you and I are the generation that puts it to rest, bro. I'm excited for that.
I think that we are maybe the first generation to, probably not the first to gain acceptance, but
I think it started with the 60s, bro. They started pushing the envelope way back then. You were talking about people pushing the envelope and getting more wild, guys under you graduating the next year getting wild.
It was more like, interracial couples was becoming a thing in the 90s, I think the 80s, I don't know, man, like, I can't speak for before my time, but it just seemed like
hey bro, I'm gonna say black rappers ushered that in because they were like, oh, I got a white bitch.
Yeah, right. I don't know whatever it is, man. I don't know. I don't understand race. Because I don't understand the struggle that the oppressed feel. Like, I've tried to have the conversation, and I don't know how to have it successfully. Like, it always devolves.
Sure.
I don't get it. I don't understand it, and until I do, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, you haven't lived it. They can't say that racism doesn't exist until they can say that a black neighborhood doesn't exist. Period. Think about that. Why is there a fucking black neighborhood? That does not make sense unless there are greater powers at play. That does not make any fucking sense.
I guess, bro. That's just classism. I mean, come on. That's
classism. Classism
thing.
Is infused with racism, bro. Obviously. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a black neighborhood or a white neighborhood.
Which is why you don't discuss. Oh, you forgot that. See, bro, you're so flawed, dog. My bad. That was rude. I don't mean that. You're not flawed at all. You're damn near pristine, Dave.
No, man. Lay it on me. I appreciate the criticism.
All right. Well, I will then. Okay. Thanks for permission. So your the philosophy that you live, whatever. One of your testaments that you expressed with us, I think in the first podcast tonight. It was like, so God, my thoughts are so fleeting.
Politics
right
and religion. That's all I said.
Politics and religion. You got to add racism to that. You cannot have civilized race talks, bro. You try to have a race talk in a bar and see what the fuck happens.
All right, you're right about that, in a bar and see what happens. But at the same time, and I'm going to introduce a term to you.
Dude, that's hot topic.
Check it out.
You can't just bring that up.
Hold on.
Shoot
listen.
With a fucking...
A live rebuttal, okay?
All right.
I'm going to introduce a term to you. Corporate social responsibility, all right?
What the fuck is that?
Corporate social responsibility is...
I mean, I heard you.
Is the responsibility of large corporations to give back to the community and be responsible for the community in which they sell their goods. Now, we're not huge. We're just Reloaded 504. You know, we're just grazing over topics and sharing a laugh and getting loaded. But I feel like anybody, rappers, fucking rock stars, sports figures.
Cats,
Listen to
dogs,
me, man. No,
cows,
shut up. Listen to me, man. Athletes, people that have a soapbox in which they intend to stand on, they need to use that soapbox responsibly. All right. So even though we just Reloaded 504, 47 countries are listening to us right now. So I feel a responsibility to address pertinent issues, at least as far as those that affect us. And racism, as you admitted, as I admitted, affects us all. You know, and I mean, it's going on right now. I would like to know what you have to say about it. I was grateful to hear your input, and I wanted to put it out there myself, even though it's a sensitive subject. I want people to know how we feel about that shit. I think everybody should be opening up a dialogue about this right now, especially if they feel like they have any kind of soapbox to stand on. Like, use whatever you have. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Use whatever you have to make it clear how you feel about it. Because check it out. We don't know how to feel. We don't know how to express it. You know what I'm saying? We two white dudes from white neighborhoods that never experienced any kind of racism in our lives.
I've been through the legal system, and I've watched simply because I was able to fucking look clean cut, and I had the intelligence to wear a suit. I got treated vastly, ridiculously better by professional legal, judges, lawyers, counselors, you name it, all kinds of professionals.
I've seen white privilege too, bro. I've seen my fucking
horrible, bro.
My white relatives know other white people that were in positions that could fucking, get rid of that traffic ticket or some shit like that.
Right, there's that too, but I would imagine that goes along both sides, right? So, like, if the DA is black and you know him, then you're gonna get your ticket taken care of. So, that's that. I don't know if that's white or black, but when I was in the system and I saw myself getting excused for shit that other people were not, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like this is fucking real. Like,
you recognized it at that time? I didn't notice it while it was happening.
Oh, bro, like in the middle, like I'd get goosebumps. Like, this is so fucked up. Like, I'd be sitting there watching people get sentenced to, like, whatever. We were in a program, so we weren't getting sent to prison, but we were getting punished, like sent to jail for a weekend and shit.
Yeah.
And like, yes, indeed, bro. I'd see fellas like get sent over shit that they shouldn't, Whereas like I would be able to. I'd gain the advantage just by looking the role.
Yeah.
I knew that if I wore a suit and I shaved,
Right.
Now, feel any type of way you want to feel about that. But everybody identified it. Like, everybody in the system knew I was gaming it. They were like, dog, you're going to make it through this motherfucker quicker than anybody else. We know that. Now, why nobody else fucking followed my lead, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose. At least you could say, at least you can concede the fact that you've been a witness to white privilege. I hate the fucking term, but like I said, growing pains, like, I got to acknowledge it. And I think people got to realize, like, really take a step back and think about all the times, like you're talking about, like I'm talking about, especially in the legal system. But in general, I'm glad you're on board. Anybody that's got a soapbox to stand on, anybody that's broadcasting, podcasting, speaking to the people, I think it's a dialect that needs to be opened up, and it's nothing to do with politics or religion. So I think it stands under the umbrella of Reloaded 504, bro. I'm sure right now, I'm sure people are having a hard time making it without a paycheck due to this COVID bullshit. Unemployment is at an all-time high right now, Todd. How are you making it right now, bro?
Yeah, man. Every day I'm hustling.
I'm about to put you on blast, bro. Y'all might not know it. Reloaded 504ins and new listeners, y'all might not know it, but a few years back, Todd turned me onto a great investment opportunity by the name of BitConnect. So I trusted him, and I threw $1,000 at it, and
this dude is about to seriously put me on blast.
Wait. Let me. It vanished.
What is that, like the sound of like friendship dying?
No, that was the sound of money like blowing away in the wind. So it vanished. So to all our Reloaded 504ians out there and new listeners, if you need a good investment advice, call 504-457-8011 and say, "No thanks, Todd, bruh. I'm good."
Bro, I mean, seriously, I really do feel bad because it's like I never want to like sell somebody on some bullshit that I got put onto. Damn, bro, I feel bad. Like I lost 2, I lost more, but
hey, bro, I'm not blaming you for that. I just I was using the soapbox to put you on blast. It's all great.
I'm cool. I deserve that.
I pulled the trigger, not you, baby.
Hey, dog, let me tell you, bro. Like, so this is crazy how that whole thing started, bro. Like,
no, but seriously, you owe me
my venture into Bitcoin. I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, no, but seriously, you owe me $1,000.
Yeah, I hear you, dog. Well, look, I mean, the way I see it, bro, like, it's going to take care of itself over time. I truly feel
okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, man, we about to start, like, traveling together. We're gonna be alright, bro.
Alright, you got that next fucking motorhome or hotel or some shit?
Dog, I'm just saying, bro. Like,
Alright, bro.
So real quick, dog. So, now go ahead, bro.
No, you got the floor. I was just
way too long.
I was just roasting you for a minute, and it felt good. I was fucking with you, bro. I'm fucking with your emotions, Smokey.
Dog. But I straight up just like stumbled into Bitcoin, and I just literally, when I stumbled into it, it was on its second, it was on its like fucking climb. I have an account, a liver account for when I have to buy myself another liver.
Do you really? God, yeah, you think so far ahead.
Yeah, man, you gotta be, it's progressive, dude. You gotta be that way, man. Because you know what, Obamacare ain't gonna last.
That's a great idea. All right, so go on with your story.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna save it for another time, but literally, I stumbled into Bitcoin because of Udemy while I was at work at an architectural firm, just bored at work because, well, that's what happens when you're a drafter.
Yeah.
And yeah,
stumbled onto Udemy.
I stumbled onto this Udemy that was like, it's some kind of formula on how to do something on some kind of coin, like some kind of cryptocurrency. And then from that, I stumbled onto Bitcoin. And then, like, literally that week, Bitcoin, like, went on a 40% climb. It was just stupid. Yeah, and so, like, I put $500 in, and the whole, like, I didn't understand how to get Bitcoin. So the only way that I could figure it out through research was like through this, Coinbase or whatever. So I did it, but then if you wanted to use your savings or your checking account, there was like a 5-day grace period. And so by the time the 5 days went through, the price had tripled. So I got 3 times my money. What's going on here? I was like, this has never happened to me before. I just gave you 500 and you gave me 1,500. What's going on?
Yeah. I was on that ride for a minute, bro. But I had to get off of it because I was like, this is just too bizarre. I still have a few $100 in Bitcoin, by the way. Yeah. But it's just sitting there. Which
yeah,
is what
I mean,
you should do
so
with
do
any
I.
stock, you know.
I got a couple G's in Bitcoin, or in other, like throughout, diversified, of course.
No
I
shit.
still have a little faith in it.
All right, bruh, sign out for the people, bruh. We done reached our limit. This was a heavy
God-
episode, bruh. I hope
Dang,
everybody
we talk
on fucking
finance,
Earth.
race.
I hope everybody on Earth hears this episode because I tell you what, even though we're like some lackadaisical fucking funky motherfuckers sitting here getting drunk and high and talking, we still tackle real world issues, bro. Ain't afraid. No fear.
Yeah, man.
No fear.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this racial tension, bro. I don't even feel comfortable talking about it. I really don't, because even as a person that feels, yeah, it's just weird for me, man. Because I feel like you're just gonna say the wrong thing.
You know what? I think we made it through dignified, though, bro. Y'all go check out Dwight Lewis on Instagram. That dude speaks knowledge. He's positive vibes in your feed. So go subscribe to Dwight Lewis Sr. on Instagram.
Just like normally. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was good. He's a good dude, bro. Sign out for the people.
I was saying, kill the episode. Yeah, all right, peace out, y'all. Love y'all.
Great sign out. Peace.